Not many games could say it defined a generation, but this one certainly can. Released on the PlayStation in 1999, this game was the first of its kind. Released with only playable activity with the DualShock controller, Ape Escape was the first game for the PlayStation that actually required the use of the analog controls, even though the controllers had actually been on sale for a while at this point. The game was developed and published by Sony Computer Entertainment, so despite them obviously wanting to create a game in order to help them sell the product, they actually made a really fun game as well. We begin with a town that has a professor and his lab, a monkey themed amusement park with a rare albino monkey known as Spectre. Whilst Spectre is in the zoo, he somehow manages to obtain a helmet that has been developed by the professor, known as the Peak Point helmet, and when he puts it on, it seems to turn him evil and give him a huge boost of intelligence. This also allows him to escape the theme park, create an army, and cause chaos for all. We're then introduced to two characters, Buzz and Spike. When they arrive at the professor's lab, they see that the building has been taken under control by the apes, whose main focus is a time machine that the professor was currently working on. As the monkeys escape through the time machine, both Spike and Buzz are transported. Spike is lucky enough to be sent to the professor's time station, whereas Buzz has been taken under Spectre's mind control. So now it is up to Spike to travel through different areas in time, collect all the escaped apes, and return history back to its normal self. Clearing all the maps of all the apes will eventually unlock the final boss battle between you and Spectre. Then you get the true ending. This game is bananas. Whilst continuing through the game, each time zone has its own unique look. The main graphics and animation to Ape Escape are Japanese cartoon themed, with 3D textures and environments to match. The soundtrack is completely original. It has subtle tones and a heavy bass that sets the mood for each level as the player explores in. The game has such a remarkable and rememberable soundtrack, you just want to play it over and over again. The controls are actually quite graceful and smooth, with a huge variety of items and skills. But it doesn't mean that this game is not a battle of wits, luck or skill to take on your enemies or even try and figure out the puzzles that this game has. A lot of the time you do find yourself playing a previous level, as obtaining a new item later in the game will give you access to before that was unknown. Since there is such a huge selection of weapons and items and many methods of transportation to explore in, Ape Escape definitely made the DualShock controller what it is today. You start the game in the prehistoric era and gradually work your way up the timeline, eventually coming into the current time and the near future. The further you go into the game, the more difficult it becomes. The enemies get tougher and everything is trying to harm you. Ape Escape actually had more than just a single campaign. It also had some mini-games as well. You could say that these games were somewhat generic, but they were incredibly fun. And let me tell you, the only way to make a boxing game more fun is by simply adding monkeys. Ape Escape has had such a huge following and fan base that the series has continued for a number of games. The direct sequel, Ape Escape 2, on the PS2 is very similar to the original in gameplay, but with newer and updated qualities to it. The original is still my personal favourite though, and I'm definitely glad to call this one a classic. Thank you all again for watching my PS1 Classic review. Join me next time, and I'll see you in the next video.